$30, or $20. Big Eleanos. It's snowing outside and it's big money today. If you need something delivered, I'm your man.
Remember the Jenkins family? They went viral for being 6 people crammed into a 1-bedroom apartment. The internet rallied behind them, offering gifts, financial aid, and support via their family TikTok account. At the time, it seemed like a heartwarming story of resilience, a struggling family striving to make a better life for their kids. But now, the story has taken a dark turn. The family is being evicted, even from the modest 1-bedroom they once called home. Let's break this story down chronologically and explore what led to this unsettling situation. Documents have surfaced on social media confirming the Jenkins family's impending eviction. These documents show a landlord-tenant residential eviction case filed on January 7th against Andrew Jenkins, the father. The court hearing is scheduled for February 19th, marking a critical date for the family. The documents reveal unpaid rent and possible lease violations, raising questions about the couple's ability to manage their responsibilities. The validity of these documents is further supported by Steph's cryptic TikTok post, where she vaguely mentioned discouraging news but chose not to disclose any details. Instead, she brushed off the gravity of the situation, opting to reset her kitchen and continue her social media routine as if nothing serious was happening.
I've never been disliked by someone I'd want to trade places with. I'm going to say it again. I've never been disliked by someone I would want to trade places with. Happy Wednesday.
Her posts focused on mundane daily tasks, stark contrast to the severe reality looming over the family. But the reality is grim. The eviction notice isn't just a legal challenge. It symbolizes the culmination of months of questionable decisions. Rather than prioritizing their children's well-being, Steph continues creating TikTok content, seemingly oblivious to the criticism pouring in. Meanwhile, Andrew spends his days gaming, showing little effort to address their worsening circumstances. This behavior has sparked widespread outrage, especially considering the significant help and generosity they've received from the public. Many feel betrayed, wondering why the resources provided by kind-hearted strangers weren't used to secure the family's basic needs, such as stable housing. The Jenkins family received significant financial support and gifts, including a TikTok shop that Steph operates, where she sells kitchen appliances. They also maintained an Amazon wish list generously fulfilled by their followers, with almost all items purchased. These gifts ranged from practical essentials to more luxurious items.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to the resilient Jenkins family and their Amazon wish list. If you follow this comment, you will see that they've started a series, and I discussed that they're adding everything that people are buying on their Amazon wish list to their page and sharing that in some videos. One of the items that they shared that I personally found a little odd was some men's socks for the dad. Now, you may be wondering, well, why is that odd? Well, personally, I'm not one who's going to say that adults don't deserve things. However, if people are purchasing things for their children, that should open up funds for those children. Therefore, they should be able to purchase these items for themselves. But furthermore, as an adult grown woman, I would feel uncomfortable taking money and gifts from really anyone for my children, let alone for myself. So here's dad wearing his Puma socks, and I have a burning question for everyone else out there.
However, troubling reports emerged that some of these items were returned by Steph in exchange for prepaid debit cards, raising questions about their intentions and financial management. Despite this influx of resources, the family remains in dire straits, living in cramped and unstable conditions. Where did all the money go? Instead of channeling the funds towards securing better housing for their 4 children and the 5th one on the way, they appear to have spent it on non-essential frivolous purchases. For instance, they invested in expensive kitchen appliances, while seemingly useful for Steph's TikTok cooking videos, hardly addressed the more pressing need for adequate housing. Moreover, Steph purchased a high-end gaming chair for Andrew, justifying it by claiming his old one lacked back support. However, this purchase is particularly jarring considering the children's current sleeping arrangements on the floor of the living room, a stark contrast to the parents' focus on personal comforts.
Giving that woman with the 6 kids, or going on 7, in that 1-bedroom apartment where her and her man and the fetus and the PS5 are safe and sound in the bedroom, while the 6 other kids are sleeping on the kitchen and living room floor like an episode of SVU, and Benson and Tutuolo finna knock on the door any second now. The fact that she's getting away with that, there's only one reason for it, and it's because she is. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk, in all honesty, and I will not be explaining further because we understand occupancy limits. We understand that you can only have so many people in a house or in a given space, hotels, all of that stuff. I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo with my husband, no kids, and I can't imagine having 6 going on 7 children in this space, let alone in a 1-bedroom apartment. But since her and her man are prioritizing keeping the gaming system safe and sound and not the children that could be abducted or anything could happen to them, considering some of them sleep right next to the fucking front door, in all honesty, it's weird. Y'all are so quick to call CPS on other folks, but y'all letting this lady skate past, and I'm supposed to believe it's for some other reason.
The situation only worsens as the looming eviction threatens to displace the family further. Instead of leveraging their financial support to escape these precarious conditions, their choices have prioritized luxury over stability. The management has left many of their supporters feeling betrayed and questioning the couple's judgment and commitment to their children's welfare. Steph's reaction to public criticism has been dismissive and frankly shocking. She refers to concerned individuals as haters and continues to post cooking vlogs as if the eviction is a minor inconvenience. In one recent post, she baked cookies and captioned it, "Imagine hating on me while I'm just here baking cookies in my pretty pink pants." Her casual tone, paired with the serious nature of her family's predicament, left many viewers frustrated and baffled by her priorities. Another post was even more confrontational. Steph labeled critics as miserable souls, stating, "Not one of you could live a day in our shoes. Stay miserable while we stay unbothered." In the caption, she added, "You can keep judging from the sidelines, but we're still thriving in our own way." Yet, this notion of thriving contrasts starkly with the harsh realities her children face: a cramped living environment, looming eviction, and uncertainty about their future. Steph's dismissive stance not only alienates her audience, but also exposes a troubling disconnect between her public persona and the struggles of her family. Her unbothered facade seems less like confidence and more like avoidance, especially as her posts emphasize trivial moments such as baking or organizing over addressing her children's pressing needs. Critics argue that while she claims resilience, her actions reflect denial, leaving her children to bear the brunt of the instability. Critics argue that Steph uses the guise of a loving family environment to distract from her poor parenting choices. She often highlights her homemade meals, claiming it's proof of her care for her children. But meals alone cannot compensate for the lack of proper living conditions. These decisions reflect a pattern of poor financial judgment that has led to their current predicament. There is more to the eviction story than meets the eye. Since the case is filed under Andrew's name, some speculate that it's not just about unpaid rent, but also significant housing violations. Allegedly, Andrew received rental assistance through a program designed to help struggling single parents with a child from a previous relationship. The assistance, likely intended to provide subsidized or free housing, came with strict conditions, such as limiting additional occupants and maintaining compliance with all rental terms. By moving Steph and their children into the space, Andrew may have violated these conditions, leading to the eviction. Such programs often require transparency and regular inspections, making any deviation from the agreement a serious offense. Social media chatter suggests that Andrew initially qualified for this program based on his status as a single parent, but the introduction of a full family into the limited apartment space was a clear breach of these terms. This violation not only jeopardized his housing stability, but also undermined the support meant to help him. If true, this adds another layer of recklessness to their story. What makes it even more troubling is Steph's decision to broadcast their lives on social media, potentially exposing these violations. Videos showcasing their cramped living conditions, large family dynamics, and frequent deliveries of gifted items might have caught the attention of authorities or or the landlord. Instead of using discretion, they turned their private struggle into public content, unwittingly accelerating their downfall. This level of carelessness highlights a lack of foresight and responsibility, exacerbating an already fragile situation. With eviction looming, the family's future is shrouded in uncertainty, and speculation is rampant among social media users about what might happen next. Several possible scenarios have been floated, each with its own implications. 1. Moving back to Steph's mother's home. Despite a well-documented strain in Steph's relationship with her mother, this may be the most practical solution. Her mother, likely concerned for the welfare of her grandchildren, might open her doors to the family. This option could provide temporary stability for the children, though it would undoubtedly come with emotional challenges for Steph, given their fraught history. Second, Andrew leaving. Some observers speculate that Andrew, who has a history of avoiding responsibility, might abandon Steph and seek out a new partner willing to support him financially. If this happens, it could leave Steph as the sole provider for her children, further exacerbating their already precarious situation. This possibility underscores the instability within their family dynamic and raises questions about Andrew's long-term commitment to his role as a parent. Child Protective Services intervention. Many people are calling for CPS to intervene, citing the children's unsafe and unstable living conditions. If CPS were to step in, it could lead to drastic changes, including temporary removal of the children from their parents' care. While such an invasion might ensure the kids' immediate safety, it could also result in emotional trauma and long-term consequences for the family as a whole. Continued social media engagement for financial support. Another possibility is that Steph might double down on her social media efforts, using the platform to garner more financial aid or public sympathy. However, this would require her to regain the trust of her audience, which has been severely eroded by accusations of mismanagement and prioritizing clout over her family's needs. It's time for Steph and Andrew to reevaluate their priorities and make decisions that prioritize their children's well-being. Whether they will rise to the occasion remains to be seen. Whether they will raise to the occasion remains to be seen. What do you think about this situation? Will the Jenkins family turn things around, or will this be the beginning of a downward spiral? Let me know in the comments, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more updates on stories like this one.